Hi, my name's Darla Twale, and I have a question for you. Do you think the world is less civil today than it used to be? I have another question. Do you remember in elementary school the playground bullies? Whatever happened to them? Well, I think I have an answer for you. They grew up and they got jobs. They probably have a job in your office. I remember when I was hired as a faculty member, probably 20 years ago, I assumed that the environment was just going to be so collegial, so wonderful. Yet I found that there were people there that weren't exactly wonderful or collegial. I thought to myself, that's where the playground bully went. In my office. My colleague and I, Barbara DeLuca, both of us are on the faculty at the University of Dayton. We're at conferences and we talked with our colleagues who told us some stories. And these stories were different from our stories, but they were hauntingly similar. They were talking about workplace harassment. They were talking about bullying. The premise of faculty incivility is that individual bullies may act uncivilly to their colleagues, just like they did on the playground, but the faculty culture and the organizational structure of the university are going to harbor it as well. If it's not being harbored there, it's going to go away. But we found that leadership, whether it's laissez-faire or authoritarian, can either support bullying or it can ignore the victim. So we need to address those issues. In addition, higher education is changing. So there's two possible reasons why we might see greater harassment in the workplace than we did before. One of those is the changing face of academe. We now see more women, more people of color, and more international populations on campus than we did in the last 3 centuries. The other thing that struck us about changing higher education is the fact that we've gone to a greater business model. There's a greater corporate mentality out there. We're now looking at bottom line economics, strategic planning, consumerism, student consumerism particularly, and a lot more faculty entrepreneurship. We also know that the business world has been dealing with workplace harassment forever. So why would we assume that if we were not adopting a business model, that we would also not be seeing workplace harassment in academe? Faculty Incivility, the book, offers practical solutions for those of you who are looking to address victimization or reform your department. The first thing that we suggest is that you look at workplace harassment policy. Does your institution even have a workplace harassment policy? I assure you that they probably have a sexual harassment policy. That's not enough. Most people assume that if what they are doing does not fall under sexual harassment, then it must be okay. It's flying under the radar. It needs to be addressed. You need to look at policy formation as well as implementation and enforcement. A policy that is not enforced isn't really a policy at all. If you feel that you are a victim of workplace harassment, of bullying, the best thing you can do is to lay low and gather information. The more information that you have, the better able you will be to eradicate the problem. I can give you an example of someone who gathered data for 18 months before she was able to use it. So take your time, get the information that you need, and perhaps you will be able to do something about the problem. If any of this resonates with you, whether you're a victim or whether you're a bully, what are you going to do about it? And finally, if you conclude that there is a bully culture on your campus, in your department, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to eliminate it? Perhaps looking at faculty incivility, rise of the academic bully culture, and what to do about it may give you some suggestions. Thank you.